traveling, living, working, and painting full-time in my Class B van, along with my dog, Willie Nelson. I'm Milo, and this is Milo Talks. So we met because you were camping where I'm camping, and then I met you through your husband who was walking your child to the park. So, and he mentioned you guys had been camp hosting at one point, and but that was not a great experience for you.
I mean, it was overall, but there were definitely things we would ask or look for next time we were campsite hosts. When you're thinking about becoming a campsite host, ask questions like, what's your role going to be? Are you going to be cleaning toilets? How many are there? What days off do you anticipate having? There's lots of different campsites around the country that need help with hosts. And so you can pick and choose what kind of tasks you want to do for hosting.
So asking questions seems to be something you're really good at because then you wrote a book, this book, 501 Questions, a travel game. So how did you even come up with this little book?
I created this book because Adam and I, we travel internationally and then in our camper when we're in the U.S. And I created this book because we were on a 4-hour ferry ride traveling to like different Greek islands, and we were planning to get work done, on our laptops during that ferry ride, and there was no Wi-Fi. And embarrassingly, we were like, now what do we do? We had nothing to talk about as a married couple, and that really bothered me that we'd been turning to our electronics versus, engaging with each other. So I had written out a ton of questions I wanted to ask Adam at the first part of our journey. We traveled full time for 4 years, and so I had all these questions. So we pulled those out, and we had one of the most memorable conversations that we've ever had in our 10-year relationship. And so I wanted to share the questions with other people. I've written some other books and have learned how to self-publish. So I published this game book, and now it's on its second edition. And that's the one I shared with you at the campsite this past weekend. So yeah, I love asking questions. And I think random questions always allow you to learn more about people than you think because, it brings up topics that you've never chatted about before.
How did you come up with like 501? Where did that come from?
1,001, and that just felt like a lot. And so I was like, well, how about 501? And so with the second edition, there's actually over 750. So I added questions. So there's really 750 questions.
Okay. So your book is misleading. That's fine.
It's all really confusing. But the idea is an endless amount of questions that, my hope is for this game book that anyone, any age can pick up at any time and ask, a good question. I broke up the questions to be light with would you rather questions, and then you can go deeper too with if you could or tell me about. And then there's also travel trivia. So, my dad doesn't like deep questions. And so I wanted to make it a range of, different types of questions people can have fun asking each other.
Your dad doesn't like deep questions?
No, because, if he has me as a daughter, I'm always asking questions.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you made it so your dad could even like the book. That's nice.
Do you want to try some out? I have some for you, and I have one from every category. We can try some out.
Let me ask you one first, because I'm curious about this. Question 111. What's your answer to if you could live forever? Would you?
My answer would be no. And I think it would be hard to, is everyone else living forever? Because I think it'd be hard to see your friends and family move on, but you can't.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Actually, that's my thought exactly. Well, what's the rest of the world doing?
Yeah.
I think if I could live forever, so I was different though. I felt if I could live forever, I would if no one else was. Because I thought it would be boring if everyone lived forever. It'd be like being a camp host and every camper is the same camper.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, we had very different answers. That's so interesting. So I know you're a very creative person, but it sounds like you're also strategic because, you're trying to build, this creative endeavor on YouTube and podcast. So I was wondering, would you rather have a map or go without a map when you're on a trip?
I'm going to say a map so that I don't like going down dead ends. Like I don't want to go somewhere and go, "Oh, I'm stuck," or I have to backtrack. I actually don't like to backtrack. I like to go in a circle or or go in a direction that's going to take me someplace I've not seen before. How about you? How would you answer that?
I think I'd like to have a map that I can, look at if I need to, but I won't look at it if I don't have to. But if I need it, I want it. You know what I mean?
So when you hit the dead end, you're going to look at the map and go, "Oh man, wish I'd looked at that map."
You're right. Well, I'm the queen of U-turns. I always miss my turns. So, yeah. That's funny.
That's awesome. Okay, I have one more for you.
Okay.
Switch lives for a week with anyone. Who would you choose to switch with?
I think the first thing that pops into my mind is some sort of professional athlete, like a USA women's soccer player. I think that would be really fun to know what their life is really like, and just admire how hard they work. What about you?
You said with anyone in your question, but I would want to switch it with something like an animal. Like I would want to be an animal for a week. I want to see.
Tell me about that.
Right? Like I would want to jump into the body of something that won't get eaten by another animal, like an eagle or an elephant, something big, right? So I'm safe for a week. I don't have to worry about being, I might be poached. That's sad, but something that can just see the world through the eyes of an animal for a week.
I always learn so many, new things about people. It's so cool. Okay, so this is, if you could bottle up any scent to carry with you at all times, what scent would you bottle up?
My grandmother lived near the oil refineries near Odessa, Texas, and we would drive through that area, and there was a smell in the air. I can't quite describe it, but I've smelled it every once in a while since, and it instantly takes me back to her. It instantly takes me back to my childhood. So it sounds like a disgusting thing. I'd like oil refinery smell, please.
But good things
bottle
were
that up for me.
associated with that smell, so no way. I don't think that's weird at all.
How about you? Give me the smell in the bottle.
I would either say my mom because, that her scent is just comfort, or I would say Weston's, that's my son, his laundry detergent scent when he was a baby. That's just always really nice too.
At least those are things that are, the laundry detergent scent is something you can actually come by, right? You could actually have that. That's easier than oil refinery smell in a bottle.
Well, I thought about using that detergent, but I'm kind of like, well, let's just keep it special and only pull it out every once in a while, so then it doesn't lose its meaning,
So it doesn't become ordinary smell.
Yeah. It's funny how both of us, picked the people we love, so much, and their scents are what, reminds us of them. So
yeah, smell is powerful. I mean, I stick my nose in my dog's fur all the time just to inhale him, right? Nothing weird with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So they can pick your book up, 501 Questions, a Travel Game, on Amazon.
Yeah, and I hope everyone has fun with it. It's just a fun game to have to pull out, if you want to get off devices or if you need some help with some conversation starters to, get everyone engaged. Yeah, it's really fun. And I find that I get to know people a lot better just with these new questions.
I love the book. I think it's so clever.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course. Thank you for the book, and thank you for giving me your time today.
Good luck hosting.
Thank you so much. Bye, Lindsey.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Milo Talks. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Milo Talks. Please be sure to subscribe and like to Milo Talks podcast on YouTube. Like to be a part of the show? You can email me at milotalkstostrangers@gmail.com.